Hi, my name is Stacy Nyikos, and I'm a children's author, and I'm here today to talk to you about my new picture book called Toby. He's so cute, isn't he? I love him. He's so cute, isn't he? I love him. And Toby was inspired by a lot of different things. Part of it was I do a lot of visits at aquariums, signing books because 5 of my 6 books that are out now are aquatic. They're centered in the ocean, so I kind of have a bit of an ocean theme going. And for a number of years, kids would say, "Oh, please write a book about a sea turtle," and I really liked the idea. I really wanted to write a book about a sea turtle, but I just didn't have an idea. And it wasn't until I had an interaction with rescue sea turtles that I started to get my ideas. And one of the turtles that I met is named Thalassia, and she lives at the Oklahoma Aquarium. You probably haven't seen her yet unless you go for their turtle days because the aquarium is still working on their turtle exhibit. But they do have their sea turtles. They've had them for a number of years, and they're in a separate facility. And I got to go over and meet Thalassia. It's a hard name to say. Let me show you a picture of her. She's awfully cute, isn't she? Thalassia is a green sea turtle, and she is a rescue turtle. She was found underneath a pier in Florida, very, very sick, injured in a boating accident. The boat had hit the back of her shell and her flippers, and she was taken to a rescue center in Georgia where they nursed her back to health, rehabilitated her. The only problem was she has a partial paralysis in her back flippers, so she can dive down into the water, but she can't stay down. And that is a problem for green sea turtles because they eat seagrass, so they need to stay underwater in order to eat. The name Thalassia actually is the name of the grass that they eat, so there's a fun fact. So, what do you do with a turtle who's rehabilitated but can't go back to the ocean? Very fortunately, there are marine sanctuaries and aquariums that will take rescue turtles in to have them as a part of their exhibit. The Oklahoma Aquarium said, "Yeah, bring her on down, we'll take her." And so Thalassia made her way out to Oklahoma. And she has been here for about 10 years. The aquarium is, as I said, is still working on their sea turtle exhibit. They're hoping to have it open next year so she can interact with kids. But she also has 2 buddies in her facility. They are loggerhead turtles. They're brothers, and they're everything you can imagine brothers to be. They are rascals. Oh my gosh, I watched them. They get they get themselves into more trouble. And so very fun. And they were a part of an early hatching program. As you may know, sea turtles are an endangered species. That means we don't have enough of them in the world for them to continue to survive. So they've been placed on the endangered species list in order to help their numbers recover. And one of the biggest problems for sea turtles is that they are a source of food for many people in the world. Now, one of the things that we are doing in not only in the United States but at various places in the world is to incubate the sea turtle eggs. Eggs are laid in a nest on a beach, and the little turtles have to get all the way across the beach to the ocean to begin their journey to adulthood and to get home, because home is where the ocean is where they live. But a lot of turtles get eaten along the way from the nest to the water. And so we've started these hatching programs to incubate the eggs and then release their turtles. Now, these 2 brothers, the problem that the researchers had was they didn't realize in these early projects how soon you have to let those turtles release them into the wild, because if you don't, they become people friendly. And that's not a safe thing for a sea turtle. They might, swim up to a boat and get hit like Thalassia did, or the people on the boat might not necessarily just want to observe the sea turtle, but have them as food. So they ended up keeping those turtles and sharing them. Again, they could not be released into the ocean, and so various aquariums took them in to be a part of their exhibits. So I was watching these guys, and I thought, oh my gosh, they're so positive and they're so brave. I mean, here they've been through all this stuff, and they're yet some of the happiest, most positive creatures I've ever met. And they kind of remind me a lot of kids. Kids, the world is a scary place when you're little. The world is a scary place when you're an adult. And yet, kids are some of the most positive people I have ever met. And they're so brave. And I was looking at these turtles, and I thought, oh my gosh, I have the beginnings of a story. This is something that a kid could relate to. How do you face the world that can be such a scary place, and yet do it in such a positive way? And so I had the beginning for my story. And that is how Toby was born. Now, I have another book that's coming out in the fall as well. It's a story called Waggers, and it's about a dog who tries to be good, really good, but his tail gets in the way. And that is based upon my dog. Now, I'm going to turn the camera so that you can see my dog. It does not look as crazy as the dog in Waggers, but she definitely was when she was a puppy. So let's take a look. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, there she is. Desi. See? There she is. She looks so unassuming. Looks can be deceiving. So look for that one coming out in the fall, and when it does, I will make another video, and we can talk all about dogs and how crazy they are, and my crazy dog, and maybe I can get her to do some crazy stuff. That's always fun. But before I go, you're probably asking yourself, so you're influenced or inspired by the ocean, you've been inspired by your dog, what else inspires you? This is my office. I'm sitting at my desk. All of these things on the wall behind me are things that have inspired me. Let's see if we can take a look. Dun, 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 dun. For instance, let's get a little bit closer here. As you can see, the wall. That's really bad, isn't it? Okay, so the wall with all these postcards. My favorite is the one that's right behind my shoulder. It is of a hamster on a swing on a bonsai tree. I find that incredibly inspiring. I don't know why. And it was sent to me by another writer. And right above it, underneath the flower, and I keep putting my head into the camera and there we go. And that is of a little bear, and he is just hanging out in the woods in Siberia. And he's sort of my new Toby. I look at him daily and I think, oh, I want to write a story about him, but I don't know what it is yet. So, I'll keep looking at him until I eventually figure out what his story is, I hope. And one other one I want to share with you. This is one of the earliest illustrations. Let's see if I can get him up there. That was done of Toby. So you can see he looks very, very different than the way he ended up in the story. And above him is a map of the United States. That's because I'm working on a story about my grandfather when he canoed all the way from Indiana down to the Gulf of Mexico when he was 18 years old in 1939. And that's the story I'm working on, one of the stories I'm working on now. So you've seen a little bit of my office, you've heard a little bit about my stories and what inspires me. And I challenge you to go out and find out what inspires you. Is it that pretty rock with the vein that runs through it that looks like a river? Can you have rivers and rocks? Are rocks their own universes? And stay tuned for the upcoming Waggers video. I will leave you with a picture of Waggers' new cover. And for more information, just visit my website. That's coming up too, www.stacynyikos.com. Happy reading!